The Food and Drug Administration has announced that they're cracking down on misleading drug company ads. The agency intends to send out thousands of warning letters and about 100 cease and desist letters. Joining us now, FDA Commissioner Dr. Makary. We need some details, Doctor, about whether we're talking about, I don't know, promoting benefits that aren't as significant as they do, or leaving out side effects. I read about reading out side effects. When I watch ads at night, there's 100 side effects for every single. I can't imagine they're leaving side effects out, because every side effect in the world is associated with almost every one of the drugs they're advertising.
That's right, Joe. And you listen to these ads and you think to yourself, wait, did I just hear sudden death? These ads are supposed to, by regulation, create a fair balance of information. You know, doctors are united around this issue. Nearly any doctor in the United States will tell you that these ads have distorted the doctor-patient relationship because they create increased demand for medications, often expensive medications, regardless of their clinical appropriateness. We're one of only 2 countries in the world that tolerate ads at this pace. And many doctors say, look, let us decide what drugs to recommend and what medication is best for our patient. Things really changed, Joe, in 1997 when a regulation loophole allowed companies to put the side effects on a website or somewhere else besides in the ad. We are taking action to close that loophole, which will require more disclosures and longer ads that it may make the ads no longer feasible. The FDA has also grown increasingly lax in its enforcement of existing regulations that the ads cannot create a misleading impression. There were 130 plus enforcement letters sent out every years ago. But in the last administration, it dwindled down. There was only 1 enforcement letter sent in 2023, and last year, no letters were sent. Yesterday, we sent 108 enforcement cease and desist letters for ads that violated our regulation, and over 1,500 letters warning the industry, letting them know that we're going to enforce these actions seriously. We're also looking at online pharmacies that are sometimes advertising drugs with no mention of side effects, and paid social media influencers. Look, the companies spend over $10 billion on pharmaceutical ads in the United States. It can be 20 to 25% of a pharma company's budget. We are asking these companies, instead of running a barrage of ads of people singing and dancing and happy, to use that money to lower drug prices for everyday Americans, which is a massive priority for this administration and President Trump.
There are so many different facets that I would ask you about to talk about this. And the dancing is one where, you know, they actually drum up demand among people, and I don't even think people know what the drug is used for, and they ask their doctor for it. But we have asked pharmaceutical companies about this. They'll look you straight in the face and say, we need to inform the public of unmet medical needs. This is something positive that we're doing, and then they can ask their doctor, and we can help them with these conditions. I think it goes back to patent expirations and extended release versions that they need to market, because it's a terrible thing to lose patent protection. You can have a $10 billion drug that you have 0 next year, so they market the extended release. The other nuance is that, I mean, Madison Avenue and network TV, it's almost like heroin. They need these drugs on nightly news every night. They need the advertisement. It's like the sick codependency that we have.
Well, look, Joe, I want to see American pharmaceutical companies thrive and pharmaceutical companies that do business in the United States thrive. But this is a massive piece of healthcare spend in our U.S. healthcare system that could be better used in other ways. And when we talk about drug prices, a study out of the Journal of Public Economics found that 31% of the increase in drug spend since 1997 is due to pharmaceutical direct-to-consumer ads. We've also got a public health crisis of over-medicalizing every condition in the United States. We have an over-treatment crisis. We've got both an over-treatment and under-treatment crisis. But by far, the over-medication crisis and pill-popping culture dominates the U.S. healthcare system. And so this reform while it's not going to be a silver bullet for our healthcare system, is the most significant reform on pharmaceutical ads to date, and it will address, in part, these issues of an over-medicated pill-popping culture and high drug spend in the United States.
I remember the purple pill. They drum up. They want people to ask for the purple pill, whether they got, I think it was stomach. I don't even know what it was for, but they don't even tell you. They just market it. By the end of the commercial, you don't even know what to do. You just see happy people dancing most of the time. Like you said, does Prevagen work, doctor?
Look, I don't want to comment on any specific product, but you're not seeing these pharmaceutical ads for generics or biosimilars, which are sort of the generic version of expensive biologics that you often see advertised on TV. Biologics are dominating the airwaves right now. It's probably the most common commercial that you see on American television, especially with news media. So we'd like to see the companies work with us. You know, with the petroleum-based food dye removal in the U.S. food supply, we asked the companies to come to the table and work with us. This is something where there was a broad consensus. Republican, Independent, Democrat moms showed up in high numbers to vote for President Trump over this MAHA agenda. And you saw the companies respond to the public demand and say, we're going to take voluntary action to do this. So we'd like to see the same with these pharmaceutical ads. To be honest with you, Joe, I've had at least 2 big pharma CEOs tell me confidentially that they would love to see these ads go away. They don't want to be in the arms race of feeling like they need to run them.
Well, I was just thinking it's all about, all these things come down to money. And it gives capitalism almost, these are the downside maybe, Andrew, that when you talk about it, it's all driven by money. And it's not driven by patient care, I think. Is it, doctor, a lot of this stuff? Capitalism.
Well, there's few things that every doctor agrees on, and this is one of them, right? We've got a society that's an outlier society in the world in terms of our overall healthcare spend and the sickness of our population. And anybody evaluating the U.S. healthcare system, if they look at a macro level, would say it's going in the wrong direction. Sure, we can do sophisticated operations. I was proud to do those at Johns Hopkins as a surgeon. We can develop amazing gene therapy medications, and we're advancing those at the FDA, announcing a few weeks ago we're removing regulations for gene therapy and our new rare disease guidance pathways. But when it comes to the health of the population, American healthcare has been a 50-year failure. We've got to try new things, and that's why people are so energized by this Make America Healthy agenda that Secretary Kennedy has championed, focusing on food, which is a big priority at the FDA. People forget the F stands for food and not the word federal.